Hi Flosstube, I'm Jennifer and this is Stitching with the Waves. Welcome back after a really long unplanned hiatus. Everything here is good. I just want to assure everybody of that. It was just a super busy summer with lots going on. I'll share a little bit about that, but I just wanted to say thank you to those of you who sent me little messages either here on YouTube or on Instagram, just checking in, see how things were going. I really appreciate you guys thinking about me while I wasn't posting, and you know, it means a lot to know that you guys were thinking of me and sending me well wishes. So thank you. It's just, you know, kind of the same thing happened last summer that happened this summer. It is super busy in the summertime with, you know, school's out, there's not that much of a schedule. We're busy with, you know, the kids just doing all kinds of stuff. You know, their friends coming over. We did a little bit of traveling this summer, which we weren't able to do, you know, recently with the pandemic. And then my parents were able to come and visit for the first time since December 2019. It had been about a year and a half since we had seen them. So we spent a lot of time with them while they were here. And, you know, the summer just flew by so fast. And then in July, I ended up accepting a position at a local elementary school as a first grade teacher assistant. So this is the first time in 4 years that I'm going to have like a really regular job at the same place 5 days a week. So I quit my job a few years ago and I've just been substitute teaching, which has a super flexible schedule. If you need a day off to do doctor's appointments or errands or whatever, you just don't sign up for any jobs that day. And so it's just, you know, really easy to schedule fun things like, you know, making videos and doing the errands and stuff around the work schedule. So I knew in the beginning of July I was going to start working a little bit before school, a couple of weeks before school started. And so I just have this to-do list that I've been putting off for a long time. It's, you know, little things around the house, you know, little maintenance things that need to be done, recaulking the bathroom sinks and things like, you know, just, I mean, boring crap, right? It's not fun stuff. So I had put it off because, you know, you'd think the pandemic, when we're all home, would have been a great time to do it, but I'd rather sit and stitch. And I knew that with going back to work, I was not going to have as much free time, and so I needed to take some time and power through that list and try to get stuff off. Of course, as you start doing things around the house, you see more things that need to be done. So the list just keeps growing. So I don't think it's really any shorter, but at least the things that have been on the list for a really long time are crossed off and what's on there is new. So, you know, it is what it is, right? And yeah, that's kind of our summer. Just some traveling, you know, some friends around, family coming to visit, things like that. So I was trying to figure out like my cross-stitching priorities because I won't have as much time to stitch now with working more, and you know, just figure out when am I going to film, because I really do want to get back to filming more regularly. So my original thought was to film on school holidays. So yesterday was our first school holiday. This is Labor Day weekend, and we get Monday for Labor Day. We also get the previous Friday off. So my thought was, you know, school holiday, that's great. That'll be perfect. We have school holidays scattered throughout the whole year, and I will be able to, you know, that'll be a day that I'm a little bit more free because I would have been at work, but I'll have more time, right? I realized yesterday, no, because it's nonstop crazy around the house with kids' friends coming over. You know, my daughter had 2 friends spend the night since it was a school holiday the next day. They could have a sleepover. So in the morning, they're up, they're loud, they're out, they're doing things. And here in this room, this is my formal dining room. I don't have a craft room. I don't have any space to have one. So this is just, I use the dining table as my craft table, and the couple of times a year that we need to actually eat in here because we have a lot of people over, I just clear everything off and we eat in here. But I'm facing the front door. It's like right behind where you're sitting. So when friends are over, like it's just, they're constantly in and out of the house, back and forth. Like this room is like Grand Central Station, right? It's super loud with everybody going by. So it's really hard to film if there's other people around. Oh, here comes my youngest daughter. She has a finish that she wanted to share. So let's do that real quick while she's here. So we have been She mainly finished this. We've been working on a diamond painting for how long? When did we start this? I don't know, maybe a year ago, more than that. It's been a long time. It's a big one. Come on in. This is Caitlin. And I had done a lot of the background over the past year. So it's this little flamingo. And in the past couple of weeks, she has just powered through. She did pretty much the entire flamingo body herself. I did a little bit helping at the end, filling in some spots, but it looks awesome. It's all done. Should we do like up close so they can see like there, that, see how sparkly it is if you get the light on it just right. Okay, we'll do a little pan up. Thank you, Caitlin. Okay, there is our diamond painting segment all done. So anyway, I was thinking school holidays would be a good time to film. They're not gonna happen. I realized it's just gonna be constant, you know, kids coming through, me trying to go and get errands done or get things done that I haven't been able to get done while I'm working. So my new plan is this: get up super early on Saturday morning and get a film in before most of the household is up. Caitlin, who you just saw, her best friend moved to Germany this summer, so she's also getting up pretty early on Saturday mornings so that she and her friend can FaceTime. It's about a 6-hour time difference, so if she calls when she first wakes up, it's about, you know, lunchtime, early afternoon for her friend, so they can have a little chat. So they're out, she's sitting out on the screen porch and they're playing some video games together while FaceTiming. So it's great that the technology lets them stay in touch. You know, it's just the timing is hard with their school schedules. They really can't talk during the week. By the time Caitlin gets out of school in the afternoon, it's past her friend's bedtime in Germany. So weekends are kind of their only time. So I thought, well, if I get up early on Saturday mornings, hopefully I can do that once or twice a month and get a video in. Hopefully the lighting is going to be okay in here. This is probably the darkest room in the house in the mornings, because the sun comes up clear on the other side. But I've turned on all the lights and hopefully this is gonna be better than no video at all. What else? I think that's about it as far as life updates and how that's all gonna work. I mentioned briefly, like, I need to prioritize what I'm gonna stitch this year because I'm just not going to have time to stitch everything that I had originally planned for 2021. So my thought is prioritize a few things and then just move the other stuff to 2022. It's all stuff I really want to stitch on, so I'll just bump it back. And you know, I haven't made any 2022 plans yet, so I just won't plan as many new starts of things. I'll have, you know, stuff that I'm already working on that I can work on. So I honestly did not go back and watch my last video. It's from the beginning of June. And I knew if I took the time to go watch it and see what I had shown you and all of that, I have some notes, so I'm just gonna go from what I said I had shown you in the notes. And, you know, sometimes as I'm filming a video, I realize things are a little different. I knew if I took time to watch that video, I wouldn't get one filmed today. And I really wanted to get this filmed. So I am just going to kind of go through all of my current projects. So it'll be kind of like a little whip parade, which is good because I haven't filmed in, it's been almost 3 months, I guess, because it's the beginning of June. Yeah, it's probably been 3 months since I videoed. So it'll just be kind of a whip parade and I can do my best to tell you what I've worked on since you last saw it, approximately. So I have one FFO. My goal for 2021 was to have more FFOs than finishes so that I could get my finished pile of stuff kind of whittled down and get those things actually FFO'd. That is not going well at all. In 3 months, I've FFO'd one thing. So, and then with working, I'm not sure how that's gonna come out. I don't know if I'm gonna have a lot of time to FFO things. It's life, right? Best laid plans. So I'll show you my one FFO. I'm pretty sure that last time I had finished stitching this. It is Celebrate Freedom from White House Stitchery, and I just finished it as a little pillow. I had some fabric. This is from, I think it's the Tranquility line of fabrics, and I had 5-inch squares, which fit perfectly. Now I made a little mistake when I cut the front. I wanted a 1/2-inch margin over here so that the stitched part would sit a little bit more up on the front of the pillow, but I only cut it 1/2 inch. I didn't leave the 1/4-inch seam allowance. Oops, should have cut it 3/4 of an inch so I'd have the 1/2 inch. So I ended up with just a 1/4 inch around on all the sides. It's fine, it's not a big deal. You know, I just went ahead and stitched it up that way, but it's super cute. I believe she charted it, if I remember correctly. It was all charted in DMC, and I used, I think, the lightest blue down here in the checkers. And I think probably the white is the DMC she called for, but I changed the, did I change? I'm pretty sure I changed, I know I made the red an over dye, I can tell, and I'm pretty sure that blue is an over dye, the darker blue is an over dye as well, that I picked out and changed, just to give the colors a little bit more dimension. Let's see, face out of the way. There we go. Can you see the variegation in there? I'm not sure how great the lighting is going to show that, but I filled this with just a little bit of batting in the corners and walnut shells inside, and then since I had this piece that fit perfectly, I just did the seam on the bottom. And I thought at one point I would go back and add some trim around the edges, but I don't know. I think it's fine like this too. It sits in one of my tiered trays, and so it's got a lot going on already, so I don't really feel like it needs a lot more around it because there's a lot of other decoration around it. So I think I'm gonna leave it like this for a while, and maybe in the future I will add something else. I've got a loose hair. I'm gonna try to brush that away. Okay. All right. Next up, let's do some finishes. This one, I don't think I had ever shown you even. I think this one started after my last video, but maybe you saw the beginning of it. This is Little Women from Stitching Book Club. And, I gotta get out of the way, focus. Give you a little pan. This one, the color changes gave me fits, you guys. Oh my goodness. It was in, the colors were all different. Colors were all different. I think I changed all the colors except for the grays. And I just, trying to get the right combination of colors. I was trying to do, you know, like the words were in pink and gold. And so I was trying to just change the pink everywhere in the pattern to a blue and change these purple flowers up here. I forget, I think they were just a different shade of purple. I was trying to keep, you know, the purple everywhere so that it would be easier. So it wasn't, so that the colors would stay balanced throughout the whole piece as I was going through, rather than like kind of picking and choosing where I put the colors. I just thought that would be a little easier to kind of make the color changes one to one. But I had a lot of trouble finding purples and blues and aquas that I liked together. So I must have ripped things out. There are places I ripped things out 3 or 4 times, changing it to different colors. And then I had the gold in the middle of the letters up here, like was charted. But at the very last thing I did, I left it, and then I, you know, stepped back and I looked out. I was like, nope, that's gonna come out. So I just chose a darker color blue to go in the center instead. What else? Oh, I took some inspiration from Sarah Stitchin' Mommy on YouTube, on Flosstube, and she had a series she did. It was a Lori Holt series. I think it's called Prim Stitch or something like that. It's like 8 or 10 parts, and she wanted to kind of get through them a little bit more quickly. They were charted as all cross stitch, as was this Little Women piece, but Sarah changed some of the motifs or sections of the pattern to specialty stitches. Excuse me. To specialty stitches, because you can see here I did all of the purple flowers. Just in kind of like made up satin stitch things. It takes less time to stitch that than it does to fill in that whole area with crosses. So I just filled in the area that was covered with crosses on the pattern with satin stitches. And I mean, some of these might be like an actual specialty stitch that has a name, but I did not, I just kind of made it up on my own. I think some of them might be like rays, or I don't know. I'm pretty sure like some of them have actual names. But I really just kind of made it up on my own as I was going along. So that helped me get through this a little bit faster. I did some kind of diamond eyelets here for the trees. I feel like if I angle it, it gets a little bit more of the overhead lighting on it. It's easier for you to see. So I did the trees like that. The purple flowers, oh, the feather on the quill. I filled in that space just all with satin stitches. So I just did kind of upward angled satin stitches to make it kind of, you know, look more feather-like and just make that stitch in a lot faster. And let me just take a quick look. I think that's all of the specialty stitches I did, but it definitely helped speed those sections along so I could keep up with this. So there it is, Little Women by Stitching Book Club from Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. You can find the pattern on Etsy. Okay, that over there. All right, next up is another finish. This is a stitch along for 2021 by a blogger, French blogger named Mimi, and her blog is Flannery au Fil de Saison. If you're interested, the links will be in the description box below so you can find her blog. If you want to sign up for any of her stitch alongs, you just put a comment in the blog post and say, I'd like to register for the SAL, and she'll email it to you. She'll email you the parts. When you're done, you email her a picture and she posts it on her blog. And then the very last part of each stitch along, you have to email her a picture of your stitched piece, and then she sends you, like, for example, this piece, it was this little deer right here. It was just this little deer was the last piece. And so once I sent her a picture of the rest of it finished, she emailed me the deer pattern and I put it in there. So this is the autumn piece. I've already done spring and summer, and I did color changes for all of these so that it's kind of in my seasonal preferred color palette. So all my fall pieces coordinate with each other and with like my house decor. So this one is complete. I have not FFO'd any of them. I'm still looking for just the right piece to FFO these so that I can put on the magnets and washers and change it out seasonally. Okay. So that is it for FFOs and finishes. I'm going to move on to wicks now. And first up, I'll do Winter Hiver, which is the winter version of the autumn SAL I just showed you. So here is the picture of it. And the first two parts, so kind of the top half, have been released already. And I hadn't picked my colors, I hadn't picked my fabric out, nothing. So one of my goals for this 4-day weekend, of which I have a lot of things to do on my list that I want to get done, way more things that I want to get done on this 4-day weekend that can get done. But one of my goals was pick the floss, pick the fabric, get started, and hopefully get all of part 2 stitched up. So I started this yesterday, and the fabric I picked is a Zweigart fabric, the Zweigart 40 count. It's called Anthracite. Let me put the white behind that. It's called Anthracite, and it's like a dark gray color. So there is the start of that little house. And it's a little bit dark right now. It gets snow on the top of it, and it gets some more lighter colors in the trim. So I'm not 100% sold on this piece, but the house is one of the darkest parts. The part across the top is a lot lighter, and a lot of the bottom area is in the lighter flosses. So I think it's going to be okay. Today I'm going to get some of the lighter colors in here. I started doing the dark so I can get the roof line finished. Once I run out of this thread that's on the needle, I'm going to start doing the white snow across the top, and then there's some snowflakes over here, and that will get me up to the lighter color border across the top. And I hope once I get that stuff in, the whole piece will be a little bit lighter. It's a little, it's hard in this lighting, I feel like, on dark fabric, but there you go. That's my start on that. So my goal for the rest of this year is to keep up to date with SALs. I have a couple of SALs I'm doing. This is one of them. I want to keep it up to date. And then when I am all up to date on my SALs, I picked one other piece to focus on that I want to get done. And that piece is Calendario Del Bento from Croquette de Gogo. So it is just individual little boxes with the number on them as like an advent calendar countdown to Christmas. So instead of stitching it all as one piece like this, I have a wooden plaid Christmas tree cut out, and at the bottom it says days until Christmas. It's like a countdown thing, and it comes with little dice that you can turn. So I'm not going to use the dice. I'm going to make each of these on their own little square that I can use a magnet to change out the piece each day as the countdown. So I had these patterns, and then she also has these patterns, which are finished just as little pillows or ornaments. And there's some of these that are so super cute. There are 4 of these that I really love. And so there's some of these that I love more than a few of these. So for example, like the Santa Claus hat right here, it's cute, but I love some of these more, like the mittens and the ice skate and the ornament. They're just so adorable. So I am just taking the numbers off of a couple of these and substituting a couple of these because they're the same sizes, and then putting the same border around them. So I had originally just started kind of stitching in the order that they were on the pattern, like on that pattern page that I had, but I realized I might not finish it all this year, so I wanted to start stitching them in order so I can at least count down, if I get 12 of them down, we can start counting down 12 days before Christmas. If I get them all done, we can start counting down 25 days before. But, whatever I can get finished before Christmas, that way I'll have all the numbers, so it won't be like, oh, we can count down today, but I don't have tomorrow's number. At least they'll be in order. So I had originally I started with 1 right there. The cupcake. 2 is one of the ones oh no, sorry, that's not 2. That is 8, day 8. I substituted in the mittens for something. That is day 7 with the ornament. And then I believe the stocking, no, I think I had the stocking done last time. Day 3, the stocking. And then this is where I started saying, oh, I gotta go in order. Okay, so here's day 2, it's the mouse and the cat in the sleigh. And then day 4 is the lantern. I love that one. So I think the lantern is the first new one that I've stitched since you last saw it. I might have been working on the cat and the mouse in the sleigh. But I also did the cat and the mouse as a Christmas ornament for my daughter last year. And then this is another one I substituted. Day 5, the ice skate. So I'll give you I'm just spreading them out on this fabric so they'll have enough around them to do for the finishing. And then I started, like a half a dozen stitches right there, that I started the next one, which I think is day 6. And that's a gift box. So that's the gold bow on top of the gift box. So this is going to be my focus piece for the rest of the year, to really try and see if I can get all 25 of these, or 24 I guess, of these stitched up before Christmas starts, for December. So if I'm not working on a Sal, that's the piece that I'm really going to focus on working on. All right, 101 alphabets. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at some point after my last video and stitched on it just a little bit. So this is from Rosewood Manor. It is massive. It is 101 alphabets, and it is $4.99 by $4.99 stitches. Okay. This is one that each time I have a page finished, I unroll it and show you the rest. The rest of the time I just kind of show you what I've got here in the hoop. Get it tightened back up. I kind of loosen it when I store it. But there we go. That's the current section I am on. Just a few stitches after the B is the center of the pattern. So I have made it halfway across. And I honestly have no idea. This alphabet is not complete here, so I assume that's probably what I was working on last time I picked this up. But honestly, it's been so long, no idea. It's probably been June, if not May, when I last picked this up. So this is going to be a many year-long project. All right, this is a stitch along from a Facebook group, and the designer, Fabi, kind of posts patterns of different styles of stitching. So the first one I had done was Hiromizashi, which is a Japanese style of stitching, and I did it on this kind of banding, this linen banding, and wrapped it around the spool. And then she started another one. This is called doorstopping or darning, and it's just these squares with different darning patterns. And I don't think that I have touched this one since you last seen it. I picked 3 colors of floss. Oops. And I just have been kind of rotating them. And I'm down here at the bottom. I have space for probably 1 or 2 more of the stars. And I had kind of stitched them all up. I had caught up to where she posts 1 a week, and I had caught up to where she had posted. So I need to go on and it's a Facebook group. And again, link in the description box below if you're interested. I need to go pick out 2 more of the stars to fit on my banding, and then I'll just stop there. On the Hiromizashi piece, I just hearted up the name. So I'll put doorstopping up here at this end, and then I'll put my initials and the date, the year down, underneath the last star down here. And then I'm going to use some lace to attach this piece to the other piece of banding that has the Hiromizashi on it, and I'll just be able to keep wrapping that around the spool and just like kind of have this sampler on a spool of different types of stitching that I've tried out. So I do really want to try and finish this piece in 2021. I mean, you've seen there's really not much left to go, and it takes an hour or 2 to stitch these up. They go really quickly. So I am hoping at some point when I don't have, when I have my sales all up to date and I just need a break from Christmas stitching, I will pick this up and try to get those stitched up. So I just store it when I'm not using it. I just roll it, and then I use one of these little quilting clips and clip it on there so it stays rolled up nicely. All right, next up is this Quaker ball, and I will, as I do every time I show this, warn you the pattern is not available. There are other Quaker balls out there that you can get patterns for. This is one that I saw online on Instagram and YouTube that a Russian designer, a Russian stitcher had made and was stitching. And I was able to track down the designer, and she's in Belarus. She wasn't able to accept any payment from the US, but she very generously sent me the PDF for the pattern so I could make it. So this is where it's at. And I don't think that I have worked on this one either. My original goal was to do one section a month. There's 26 different shapes you have to stitch. So I have 6 of the squares done. I have 4 of the hexagons and 2 of the octagons. If I have worked on it since last time, it would have been on those octagons there. So there's 12 total squares, so they're done. There are 8 hexagons, so I've got half of those done as well. And then there are 6 octagons, so I need to do 1 more octagon, and this piece will be halfway stitched. So it'd be really nice if I could get 1 more octagon done this year, just so I can say it is halfway, this project's halfway to completion, but we'll see. All right. I'm running out of space here. My stacks are getting precariously tall. All right, another one I don't think I've worked on since last time. This is another advent calendar, and it is from Le Temps d'été, Across a Time for Tea, I think is the translation. She is a French designer named Jennifer Lentini, and the link to her website where you can buy the patterns is below. I think there are some Etsy sellers as well that might have it, but I'm not certain. I ordered directly from her website. The shipping really was not that expensive. So I am stitching this just how it's pictured, but I changed the colors to the same colors used for Kringles so that I can frame this piece and Kringles near each other. So I have kind of worked my way, I started in the very center and worked my way up to the roof because that roof looked like a beast, and I figured get that in first and then it'll just be the fun little boxes to stitch for the most part. So I had been working up there on the roof, getting all those shingles in. But like I said, I don't think I picked this piece up, and I had to make a decision about which Christmas piece I was going to really focus on and try to finish this year. And I picked the other one, the one I'm going to use as a countdown, because I really want to finish that when my kids are still young enough to want to count down for Christmas, so that they have that memory of doing that. So that will be my focus. This piece, the house advent calendar, hopefully will be a finish for next year. All right, next up are more alphabet letters for my printer's tray right here behind me. I have, I think, 4 letters in there. You guys can see better than I can. And maybe I have more. All right, I'm gonna turn around and look. Nope, I have 5 letters in there. I wonder where, I'm gonna look this way too. Do I not have any more over there? Oh, there's F. Okay, I was like, they are all here. I was like, I'm up to E over here, and then I was looking here at K, thinking K was the first letter I had on this piece of fabric, and I'm like, where's F, G, H, I? What do I do with them? They're just down the other side. I started on this edge of the fabric, so they're over there. All right, not enough coffee, and it's too early in the morning, you guys. So I think last time I had K finished, so I've done L, M, and N. And these, again, are something that does not take that long to stitch up. At some point, I would like to have a few pieces to put in the tray that I can switch out seasonally. So, I don't know. We'll see if I stop here on the letters or if I keep going. I'm not really sure. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. What my goal is there. It was just, I was trying to stitch a letter or 2 each month this year, so I got more done and I had some work on it, some progress. All right, my last whip is my car stitching piece. So now that some of my kids' activities are back in person, I have a little bit of time to sit in the car peacefully and stitch by myself. So I had picked up out of my stash, I have from the Drawn Thread, the Spot series. So it's spot of spring, spot of summer, spot of fall, spot of winter. And I'm working currently, I finished spring, and now I'm working on summer. There it is. I just have, what's that thread? I just have 2 little motifs to finish down here in the corner, and then this piece will be done. So it is, Labor Day weekend, beginning of September here in the US. Our first day of fall is officially September 22nd. My goal is to get this done in the car stitching before September 22nd. So I've got a few more weeks left to go. I only get a few minutes a week to stitch on it in the car, but hopefully I think I can do it. There's really not that much left, so I think I can do that. And then I'll open up the spot of fall and work on that one. Hopefully I can get that one done before winter starts with the car stitching. These are just, they're tiny. I can just put them in the hoop and keep them in there because the whole pattern fits inside the hoop, so it's really convenient. There's not a ton of colors, so I just put them on a floss drop, a little bit. They're all DMC for the most part. I think the yellow color, there was I want to say it was a Gentle Arts color. I used a Classic Colorworks that I had because it really, you can see there's really not that much of the yellow in the pattern. So I didn't want to buy a whole skein just for such a small amount. So I just picked Queen Bee, I believe it is, and used that. So yeah, it's great to have a little bit of car stitching time and be able to do that and have a piece that I can, get through and make progress on. So once I'm done that series, I'll have to see if I can find something else that is small that I can, if I put a big piece in for my travel stitching, I won't feel like I'm ever getting anywhere on it because I don't have that much time. So I really like having this tiny little piece that I can continually work on. So that is pretty much it for the cross stitch whips. So real quick, I have 1 quilt I am currently working on, and I haven't sewn on this at all since June. Haven't touched it, unfortunately. So I picked out this illusion pattern from Moda, and I am just doing, it's about 75 by 75 inches square with the 4 stars across. So I'm just doing a 9 by 9. So it'll be a little bit smaller here. And the fabric I am using is Cider by Basic Gray from Moda. I have 2 squares completed. Here's the first one. And here's the second one. So I have all the, it's all cut out, everything's ready to go, all the fabrics and stacks for each of the stars. I just need, to find some time. So again, on my list of things to do this weekend is maybe get 1 star sewn. If I can get 1 star sewn each weekend, I could have a pretty fall quilt done, not too long from now. It's only 9 of the stars and I've got 2 done. I've only got 7 left to go. So, but at the end of fall, I could have my quilt completed potentially, or at least the top completed. So we'll see. We'll see if that goal actually happens. Because like I said, I've made a list of everything I want to get done, especially on this 4-day weekend, thinking, oh, I'll have so much time because I have a 4-day weekend. But my list is way too long to actually accomplish all those things. All right, so then for plans, I kind of told you as we were going, I want to keep the sals caught up. So I have that winter one, which is the last season to complete. So that sal will be totally complete when I'm done with the winter. And then this year for Stitching Book Club, there's one more book that I really want to do, which is The Great Gatsby. So Kristen just posted yesterday a little sneak peek of the pattern, and it's gorgeous, you guys. If you haven't seen it, you should go check out on Instagram at Sapphire MT Handcrafts. That's her Instagram page. You should go check it out. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's on black fabric, and it is like all these golds and some aqua. Oh gosh, it was so pretty. It's just this little tiny corner of it. She's been having some like health issues lately, she said, and so she's not sure when the sal is going to start, but she is still planning to do it this year. It's still going to happen. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for it. It is going to be worth the wait, however long the wait is. Even if I had to wait till 2022, 2023, I would totally still do that piece. It's gorgeous. So as soon as that starts, I'll be working on that sal as well. So I'll have 2 sals going, and then that advent calendar piece is going to be my focus. And then there's one other thing I really wanted to stitch this year. I looked at everything else I had, original plans, desires to stitch, and the one thing that I was like, no, I really, really want to start that this year is Let Us Be Thankful. And this is from Just Cross Stitch magazine, November, December 2013, and it's designed by Debbie Booth of My Big Toe Designs. So here it is up close. This year is the 400th Thanksgiving. And so I really want to get this piece. There's no way I'm gonna have time to finish it. That was my original goal, was like stitch it this year and finish it this year. But instead I've decided I'm just going to get it started on Thanksgiving weekend. Like this will be the piece Thanksgiving weekend. I'll put aside everything else, or at least Thanksgiving at some point during the weekend. I'll get a start on this piece. So I need to pick out some fabric for it. And I went through last weekend and picked out floss. And I wanted to do an over dye. It's charted in, I think it's all in Weeks Dye Works for the chart. And I really don't have Weeks Dye Works floss at all. I have a couple of, stray colors, and that's it. So some of them, I just didn't feel like there were enough stitches to warrant using a fancy floss. So I'm just gonna use the DMC equivalent. And then I had some blacksmith blue, one skein of blacksmith blue. And I decided that's what I wanted to use. All the letters and then the border around the edge are all in blacksmith blue. But I need more than one skein. So I picked up 2 skeins of that. Can you see I think you can see the color. It's just a really pretty dark navy blue. So I think that's going to be really gorgeous with the other colors. I don't have them pulled out yet. I just kind of wrote down what I was going to use. I didn't pull all of those. So I need to pull those, and then I need to pick some fabric, get it cut, get it all totally ready to go. So Thanksgiving weekend, I can set up and get it all started and just get, some sort of start on it that weekend. And then hopefully I can finish it before the following year. So I have another fall piece. And then I didn't want to ship the floss by itself, so I picked up the two colors of fabric. This is 40 count Zweigart in anthracite, which I had started stitching that winter sal piece on. So it's just a dark gray. And then I also picked up This is water green Newcastle linen, I think, from Witchelt. It's, well, and it says Witchelt on it, but look, it's got the orange swigert. And it says Newcastle, which is swigert. So I think that's just a typo on the label here. And I think it's water green. The front, the like first couple of letters of the name are cut off. Maybe if I leave it folded, you can see, oh yeah, there you go. So it's just a real pretty, like, kind of sagey green, but it's got a little bit more blue in it. I feel like the lights here are really blowing it out a lot, but maybe if I put it on the white card, that would help. Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway, it's a pretty green color. So just, you know, when I'm ordering other things, I like to check out and see if they have any 40 count fabric that I don't already have that color, and I just get a small like 9x13 piece just to see what the color is, and then I have a small, I can stitch some small things on it. And then I know for future projects, I'll probably, you know, just like save this piece of the anthracite that's left over from the other project in with my stash so that I have, you know, if I decide I want to stitch a larger piece on this, I can go and purchase a bigger piece of it. All right, that I think, I'm at my bottom of my pile here. So I think that that is pretty much everything I had to share with you this morning. I'm so glad I finally got to sit down and make this video. Hopefully I can get on a better schedule of just doing this on Saturday mornings, since my plan of school holidays is not gonna work out. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back in a couple of weeks or maybe early October, do like monthly videos or something. I'll just have to see how busy the weekends get. You know, I'm about 2 weeks into working full time again for the first time in years. So a lot of, you know, the plans and what I thought would be our schedule and how things would work, you know, you just have to adapt. You have to change and adapt. So we've all been doing that a lot for the past year and a half, and it's just going to continue. So I hope you all are getting lots of good stitchy time in. If you have a second, I would love to have a comment from you and hear about what you're working on or what you're doing. And I will see you back here again next time. Bye, everybody.